Hey everybody, thanks for joining us today. Today I have Sara Getchell with Whitecap Mortgage. Sara is my preferred lender. She does an amazing job, and we wanted to talk about some things, some common questions that we get, and some things we really wanted to make people aware of when they're looking to purchase a home and looking for a mortgage. Hi Sara, how are you today?
Hi Marcy, I'm good. How are you?
Good, thanks for joining me.
Anytime, my pleasure.
So Sara, a couple of days ago, we were talking about the 3% trap for buyers. And I was hoping that you could explain that, because that's not something a lot of people know about.
Sure. So the 3% trap, it's sort of new in the news right now as far as what buyers have for their rates, what people that are in a home right now, what they're having trouble leaving their current rate because during COVID, everybody refied down to a 2.75 or a 3%.
Yep.
And now they're kind of trapped in their home because they feel like they can't go buy another house because their rate is so low on their current home.
I hear it all the time.
Yeah. So the trap part of that, is if you're a seller and you really do want to move or move on to a different home, you feel like you can't. And what's happening right now is a lot of people are racking up their credit card debt and racking up other areas of their life. And so credit cards, home equity lines, car loans, like these are things that have super high interest rates right now.
Extremely high. The highest we've seen since, I think I just saw, since 1994. Was the last time credit card rates were that high.
Yeah. And so all of this is going to come to a head. So whether you're paying money for your house or you're paying money for all this other debt, it still has to do with your overall monthly liability, not just your house.
Right.
Right. So in theory, what we can do, and I have tools for this, is to see, okay, if I did sell my house and I'm getting X amount of proceeds from that house, does it make sense to pay off some of my credit card debt, get rid of all that interest that you're paying on credit cards, car payments, home equity lines, whatever it might be, and put less of a down payment on. So you're essentially transferring some of that debt onto your new mortgage and you get a new house.
Yeah.
So, the theory is once you really compare those numbers, even though you have the higher rate, you're in the house that you want and your overall debt could be lower. So it's just some things that a lot of, people that are moving out of their current home and into the next home don't really think about.
They're so focused on the difference between the rate that they got when they first purchased this home, or for people who were in their house already and refinanced, because we've seen a drop. I think it was like 25% less inventory than this time last year. And last year we were extremely low. So people really feel paralyzed about selling their home because they just don't want to give up that fantastic rate.
Yeah.
So I think this is really important information to know.
Yeah, and statistically, we're seeing it already. The unemployment rate is starting to creep up just a little bit, and so people are feeling that tightness and they're starting to take out debt in other areas. So it really is important to make sure you're not just focused on that rate and on that mortgage, but also on what are we looking at all over and what's the big picture there.
Because a lot of people really are focused on the price of the home as opposed to what their monthly expense is going to be. And I think it's much more important to focus on the monthly expense.
Right.
That's the important part.
Right, and when you're a seller and you get those proceeds and it's X amount of dollars, part of what we do as a mortgage advisor, that potentially maybe if you're with a big bank or somewhere else may not be having those conversations, is really taking an advisory role to help you. Let's look at your overall financial goals and how can getting those proceeds meet some other areas and aspects of your financial profile. So.
Right.